All right, hello, welcome to the speech ad. I'm Caden Binkholter. I am co-captain of the speech team.
I am also co-captain of the speech team. My name is Shelby Kepke. I did storytelling and prose last year. That's two of the many events that happen in speech.
I'm Aurora Mayer, and I did storytelling last year. I read The Frog Prince Continued and memorized a whole storybook with characters and voices.
I'm Cordelia Woolsey, and I have done prose the last few years, but this year I'm doing poetry.
Diverse, like sport. It's kind of weird that they organize so many different things into one broad category of speech. You have things like extempt, which is all about politics and thinking up stuff on the fly. You have duos and duets, which is group acting for comedy and that kind of thing. You have prose, where you
You just read a story out of a book. And
Memorized short story.
Yeah, this is wonderful. So I'm gonna hand off this microphone so some of the people who compete in the many diverse events in speech can tell you a little about their specific event and maybe their fondest memory or what they like about the event.
So what I love most about prose and poetry is you can tell a story, and it could be anybody's story, and you can make it yours, if that makes sense. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Extempt. Okay, so extempt is a very grueling activity to do, but it's also very fun. Essentially what you do is whenever you go into a meet, everybody else just gets to look at the thing and be like, okay, that's whenever I go perform. It'll be fun. No. You gotta go and wait for them to tell your time of when you're supposed to walk to this little room, and it'll be completely dead silent and filled with like 50 other like half dead people because they don't want to be there.
Make extempt sound great.
Yeah,
not terrible.
No, wait, it's getting to it. Don't worry, it'll be great. This is just the build up. So you come to this like dead room, and there's just like two people sitting there with like a bowl of little pieces of paper, and you pick out three, and they're all political topics, generally about more recent events, and you choose one of those, and then you have 30 minutes to write and memorize a 5 to 8 minute speech, and you're not allowed to have that paper when you perform, and you're not allowed to just like look stuff up. You have to have like it pre-printed out and or on a Google Doc. But what I find fun about it is I'm not a very politically active person, but the fun part is I get to pick out that little piece of paper and then know that I'm gonna go walk into a room and just make stuff up for 8 minutes and then get points. I mean, there's nothing more fun than that, of just knowing like I don't have to actually care about this. I just get to walk in and say some stuff, you know? And then radio. Radio is a little event where you're facing away from the judges and you give a radio performance. I did a themed show. Mine was 106.9 The Black Lagoon, and I was Creature, your host the most, the voice of your choice. And I had a little segment about horror movies, and I got to make it all my own, you know?
I have done storytelling and prose. Storytelling is just memorizing a children's book for 6 to 8 minutes with characters and voices, and it's lots of acting, but it's all in a chair. You cannot stand up out of the chair. If you stand up out of the chair, you are disqualified. It's really fun. It's a great time. You're telling a children's book to a room full of high schoolers and adults, and it's just so much fun. Prose is unmemorized for 6 to 8 minutes, and it's just telling just like a regular short story. It's a great time.
So I've only done storytelling because last year was my first year, but as I said, I did The Frog Prince Continued, and I had to do a bunch of different witch voices, and it was very fun because like every once in a while we would be bored in math class, and I would just start telling a children's book to the whole class, and everyone really enjoyed it, and it was really fun to do because it was just entertaining and it made people laugh, and I enjoy making people laugh. So
Essentially, now you see there's a very broad spectrum of people who join speech for a very broad spectrum of events. Like, yeah, maybe what we told you today doesn't really seem like something you'd want to do, but there's so many other events you might want to do. So if anything, go to Miss Hazel's class when you have a free time, or just email her about maybe wanting to join speech, or come to one of us and we can tell you anything you want about the different events within speech. And we're a really easy club to work around for sports and that kind of thing. We don't meet that often, and practice is generally something you do on your own, but whenever we come together to practice, you're able to perform to people you know and get to make other people laugh or cry, which happens a lot with the really like dramatic events that people do.
Thank you. Okay, ready?
3, 2, 1.
Thank you. Oh.
Now, I hear that you all have some fun anecdotes to talk about with speech, because speech is not just an event, it is also a team sport. So we all have very fun things that we've done together. So would anyone like to start us off?
My anecdote. So, you know those penny wars things y'all give money to? That's us. We do that. I hope you know that. We also do Mr. OHS, which is defunct, but penny wars. So whenever we get all those pennies, who do you think counts those? We do. So my favorite memory is one fun speech meeting. Our wonderful leader, our great leader, Miss Hazel, said, I don't know how to count all these pennies. Can you guys do this for us? So me and Aurora sat on the floor getting our hands covered in oxidized copper or whatever. My fingers smelled stinky. And there was a bowl of Germex there for some reason, and we just were sitting there rolling like thousands of pennies for like 40 hours. Trust me, like Hazel made us do slave labor. I've never looked at her the same.
Meetings are generally the most fun things I've ever been to. We get pizza, we get to perform in front of people, and just really let out, like stage fright, get used to performing in front of people, and it's really a great time. Once you get past being nervous to perform in front of people, it's really not that hard, complicated. It's a really great time. I cried at my second meet.
So at meetings, it's really great to actually be able to perform in front of an audience for the first time and them give you feedback for, what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong, and then put that feedback into your work and start doing better. We get pizza a lot, and like every once in a while we have like a little party ordeal, and last year we watched Total Drama Island for like 3 hours straight, and that was great. We always have a lot of fun and a lot of laughs, and a lot of good memories with speech.
Speech bus. The speech bus is interesting. You learn a lot of eye-opening things on the speech bus, and you have a lot of fun. Like some of my best memories on that speech bus. What's Michael? We left Michael at Taco Bell.
Oh, yeah!
That was nice.
Michael is still at West Plains. He's been there for 2 years.
Yeah.
Now with the scissors.
Oh yeah.
The entire time.
Into this gonna make it.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Thank you.
Ow, my hand.
Walk away.